What's going on, everybody? Sir Tacos here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the movie masterpiece series, MPM-5 Barricade. This is a masterpiece version of the Decepticon Barricade from the original 2007 Transformers film. We'll take a look at his box. It is damaged here, but you've got Masterpiece Movie Series, Ford, Takara, Tomy, Transformers, H's 8+, Barricade, Decepticon, Hasbro, MPM-5, Transformers again. You've got car mode and robot mode pictures here on the bottom. You've got Ford sticker to go here. Mine apparently didn't get its Ford sticker. You've got distributed by Hasbro and made in Vietnam and barcodes and all this and that. On the top, you've got Masterpiece Movie Series. On this side, you've got Barricade, and it shows his robot over his car. On this side, you've just got the car, Transformers MPM-5 Barricade. And on the back, you have your product shots. There he is with his weapon and in car mode, and it shows the rotor blade weapon. You can move his mouth. Those are his most exciting qualities. There he is. There's the Ford official licensed product. He's a Saline Mustang, and you've got all this. Some poses may require additional support, probably with this guy. But there's his box, so we'll go ahead and put that out to the side and take a look at his vehicle mode here. It is a Ford Mustang, and that is what it is. We've got police, and I believe that's, I want to say, what is that number? It almost looks like it says 1865, so it must be an establishing number for this police force. Unit 643 to punish and enslave, emergency 991 or 911 response. Unit 643 on the top, I'm guessing that's what that is, so that's what I'm saying. Police, you've got blue paint, silver paint in there. You've got a little bit of silver paint here and some yellow paint for the side lights. Now, I think I figured out where the noise disturbances are coming from. Going on a slight tangent, there is literally a vent right under me, so when the heat kicks on, air starts coming through, and I think that if it makes it to my mic, it's causing a sound. So if there's a whooshing sound in my mic right now, when I go to listen to this playback, I won't cut it out because I can't just stop recording every time the heat kicks on. It's just going to be an unfortunate thing I've got to live with. The best I can do is try and step on it to keep the air off my mic, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, similar decals on the other side. You've just got the police badge 643. There's some kind of dirt on here. You can see that it's definitely showing up on camera when I'm looking anyway. Must have taken a tumble. The Punish and Enslave 991 response, you've got a license plate, you've got the Saline logo stamped in there, you've got 643 again, red tail lights, and then there's a little bit of silver down here, picking out the exhaust actually, so that's kind of cool. And then up here, you've got the transparent plastic with the red and blue ends. For the lights, here he is, all from the top. Here he is, all from the bottom. You can see his waist and his thighs, but other than that, there's not a whole lot that's showing down here. I mean, these are the bottoms of his feet, but other than these little parts in the back, it's not completely obvious yet at first glance that's what they are. So, zoom back out here. He has rolling articulation, as rolling things should, and that's all you can do with him in car mode. You can't integrate his weapon. He doesn't have any opening doors. You could fold this down if you wanted to, kind of like the original 2007 toy would fold it down to release Frenzy, but it doesn't go down all the way and there is no Frenzy, so why would you want to? What we're going to do is just set him off to the side here and get ready for size comparisons. Alrighty, there's Barricade with the Rubik's Cube, Gormagala statue, the Volkswagen Beetle. Here he is with New Age Mista, his buddy Soundwave from Dark of the Moon, because the Barricade model in that film was pretty much the same as this one. as far as I'm concerned, so I like pairing them together sometimes. Here he is with the version of Bumblebee he didn't fight in the film, because they haven't made a classic Camaro version, but I wouldn't mind it if they did. I'm really holding out for some other Movie 1 Decepticons, because they keep skipping over them, because they've done the easy ones. Basically, at this point, the hard ones, they still have to do, but if they decided to put out a Camaro Bumblebee instead of a Blackout, I wouldn't be sad. And here he is with the Legend Scale Optimus Prime, because he's going to be in all the videos now, because he's my tiny Prime and I love having him around. Alrighty, that pretty much does it for size comparisons in vehicle mode, so we're going to get him transformed. Transforming him from robot to vehicle is a hassle, because if you've owned this or the Studio Series version, you know that trying to get his arms into his legs is kind of a pain. But it's not hard, but since I generally start from vehicle mode and go to robot mode, that's what I'm going to do. But there isn't a whole lot of cohesion transforming this thing, to be perfectly honest. The first thing I do is pop the roof and pull it forward on this hinge. There's a big old double hinge here, and you're going to roll that forward and just set it down for now. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take these fender portions and pop them out. Just push them out to the side a little bit, and then I can take the hood, which was being held under there with these tabs, and I can pull it forward also to get it out of the way. Once the hood's out of the way, rotate the tops of the doors up that are going to become his little wings. We're going to split the back apart, and we are going to get his arms separated from his legs, like so. And then everything's going to start coming loose here. So what I'm going to do is remember exactly how this, just rotate it forward. There's a hinge in here, and there's a ratchet joint out here. So we're going to rotate the arms forward. I'm going to try and keep the car together as much as I can. So rotate the arms forward. Keep the car together, hopefully. So you've got the arms facing forward. We're going to go ahead and pull the entire hood up like so, which is going to allow us to rotate this piece down so it's out of the way. Grab a hold of his head. His jaw is loose on mine, so he's always screaming by the time I get to this part, and that's understandable. I'm not blaming him one bit. Pull the head collar piece out till it lines up. Then we're going to rotate this part down again. It's going to push these at an angle, and we're going to want them to be angled. Fold it all the way under, and then it's going to clip into this die-cast metal frame like that, which is really, when you're trying to pull that apart, it's kind of scary. One half is die-cast metal, and that's okay, but the other half is not. Alright, these arm assemblies are on a rotational armature there. You're going to rotate that up. Make sure that the arm is ratcheted to the angle you want it to be, which for me right now, for all intents and purposes, is straight down. For these wings, they're on this double gray hinge. We're going to rotate it in on itself and line it up with everything else in here for now. Then for the roof section, there is a tab here and a slot there that you're supposed to line up, and you're also supposed to take this. The roof has two tabs. I'm trying to get the frame. One here, and they're supposed to tab up in here, but you can't have them both engaged at once. Like, I can get that tapped in. I'll rotate his arm out of the way to show you what's going on in here. But the torso's not really going to tab in. But if I untab that, then I can push the torso all the way. Then try and retab it, and it pops the torso out. But since it's a more solid connection to have this up here tabbed in, that's my default. Do with yours what you will. We pretty much got his torso done. We'll go ahead and get his legs done, because they're less involved than the arms are. And I'm lazy. Sometimes. Most of the time. Always. we're going to spread the hips apart, and you've got these two little things that you can fold out if you want to. There's one resting and there's one out, so you can see the difference. We are going to go ahead and pull the rear bumper sections away so we can fold the feet down. This is going to rotate, tuck in, and then there's a big old tab right here that's going into this big old slot right here. That's all gonna sit nicely together. Same thing on the other side. And the last thing you need to do for his legs to be transformed is to fold out the little spikes on his feet. It would be great if they had a locking loop or something, but they don't. And that's it for his legs. Now his arms, we'll go ahead and transform his arms. Alright, we're gonna fold this wheel out. It's supposed to clip in here, but mine doesn't really tab in that well. We're gonna fold it forward. We're going to push it down on the sliding rail, like so, and then it's going to tab in via this clip right here. You're gonna just clip it in, and that works pretty well. And then what you can do is separate the tires, and I'm only going to do this on one, and I'm going to immediately retract it if I even can, because it doesn't look very different, and it's just a pain in the butt to do, and it's going to collapse itself anyway. But you can separate the tire to make it look like it's expanded. It barely looks like it changed, and like I said, it's not worth it, so I'm not going to keep it changed. We're going to come in here and rotate this armature forward with the hand on it, rotate it around, and these three tabs are going to line up with bits of the wheel well, whatever you want to call it, the hubcap area. Then you can go ahead and fold his thumb out and unplug the hand that you just plugged in, fold his thumb out, and fold his fingers out, and there you have that. Go ahead and pull this piece away from the car and rotate it down to sit on the arm. We're going to fold out this little section on the window. If I can get in there and get it up, fold that out, collapse, or we're not going to collapse it in just yet. We're going to take this armature and collapse it. This big old tab right here is going to plug into a slot in the arm. Snap. Maybe we did want to do this first. Jesus. Can't remember which order any of this stuff goes in sometimes. To be fair, I almost never play with this guy because it is kind of irritating getting him back into a car. So when something is irritating, I don't play with it as often. So there's an arm most of the way done. All we have left to do is fold this forward, and it will stoop in place, thankfully, and then fold this down. And then you can angle this however you want. You can have it angled in, you can have it angled up. I'm just going to kind of let it flop around and do its own thing. And we'll go ahead and transform the other arm now. This will be so much easier off camera. I'll go ahead and rotate around this way, so that way we can see it all happening. Slide, clip, fold the armature out, rotate it around. Sometimes it'll help clip these in if you fold the fingers beforehand so the three fingers aren't bumping into the tire. Then what I do is I'll just push on here and kind of spin the tire behind it until something clicks. There we go, like so. Now coming around to the outside, we'll rotate this down. We'll get in under here and fold this flap out, which we know we want to collapse now. And then we can take this armature, and you've got the tab, and it's going to clip in like so. Rotate this forward until it dupes into place, rotate that forward, and he's collapsing under his own weight and me messing with him. His legs are not the most stable, and I really wish that the joint the shoulders were on locked into place, because you've got this nice ratchet in the shoulder, but there's a hinge that it sits on, so the hinge moves instead of the ratchet. It doesn't really look good. I'm gonna take him back here for a second and kind of clean him up. Make sure I've got everything into place, and then we'll do the one very crucial final ultimate step to his transformation, and then we'll start showing them off. Alright, it looks pretty okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the light in the back and rotate it out. And now he's done. He's complete. That was so vital to the transformation that if I had forgotten to do it, everyone would have screamed at me that I didn't do the headlights, and all 7 of you watching, you would have just thought I was an idiot. So there he is. Go ahead and put him off to one side so we can get ready for some size comparisons between Barricade and some other people. Now this is my wife's favorite Decepticon from the movie verse, at least from the Bayverse. I don't know if she switched it up and has her own favorite from the Bumblebee movie, but she does like Barricade. She wasn't a fan of his redesign in The Last Night, judging by the toy, but when she saw him in the film, she still liked it. So there he is. We'll go ahead and bring in some size comparisons. Alrighty, there you've got him with the Rubik's Cube, the Gormagala statue. He is with Bumblebee movie Bumblebee. He is with the Bumblebee from the 2007 Transformers film. Didn't feel like transforming Mista, so there he is with the Megatron from the 2007 Transformers film. He is with MP-44. Too many MPMs, Jesus. And last but not least, here he is with the New Age Optimus Prime. You know, just because I love him, so I want him to be included. And since yesterday, when I finished his review up, or maybe it was Wednesday, I did add an Autobot symbol, so now he is an Autobot, and that's great. Great job, Prime, being an Autobot. There you have your size comparisons. Alrighty, the first thing I'm going to do is his weapon, and we're going to actually go off screen to get his arm ready, which is basically just transforming the bulk of it back into car mode. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll go ahead and show you what's changed, and then we'll add the weapon. Alrighty, and we're back, and what I've done is I've put the fingers back into the back here. I've folded this flap down, and I've moved the wheel up on the armature and put it back in. You can have the arm extended down when it's like this, but I'm just going to have it tucked up for the ease of access so there's less to flop around. These stank foot spikes stink. And what you're going to do is you're going to take his weapon here, which is supposed to look like his tire's been pulled up and a bunch of spikes have come out of it, which is hilarious because the real tire is sitting right there. But there's a big old tab on the end, and there's a slot right here in his arm. It's the same thing that the clip on the real tire clips into, and you just take it and you put it in there like so. Easy as pie. Maybe. Go on. There we go. Why did I have to take you off camera to do that? So there you have his weapon. I'll bump in the camera on his arm, and it's his only accessory because he didn't come with a frenzy. But there's an upgrade kit you can get that'll improve MPM Starscream's arms and give you a frenzy that turns into a gun Barricade can hold, which is pretty cool. So there you go. There you have his weapon. And we'll go ahead and take it off and get his arm back. We'll go over articulation, and we'll go over how I feel about it. Alrighty, and we're back, and I accidentally yanked my headset cord in my phone, which moved the camera around, but it's centered enough. Starting off, posability, we'll go ahead and zoom in, which might take my flash. Nope, it did not take my flash away. We've got, oh, we never showed off his details. Here he is in robot mode. Let's look at his details. You can see that if you move these down, that you can really get a good look at the silver and blue paint that was present in the vehicle mode. These silver highlights are still here. You've got some nice metallic blue throughout the body, down the legs, and there's a little bit on those flaps we folded out on the arms. He's got silver highlights here. He's got silver highlights here. Some gold highlights picked out in there. There's more of that metallic blue on the tips of his feet. If I can get him in frame. There. And loads of mechanical mess, as you do when you're a Bayverse figure. There's some gray paint here. Then up the back, it's pretty much just car stuff up his back. And then you've got some silver gunmetal-y paint on his fingers. And he does pretty much look like Barricade. There's some parts on the back that are just a little bit too much chunks of car compared to the movie model, but that's something pretty much all these MPMs have, is that there's chunks of vehicle on them that aren't quite as distributed as they should be. Like that Bumblebee I showed you should have the actual rear tail lights in a different spot than they are, but they look good where they are, and that's nice. And that's it for his look around. So his posability, he's got the opening mouth gimmick that is loose on mine. You've got a ball joint at the head for a full 360. You can look up, and there's a hinge below it that the ball joint's attached to, so he can look up really far. He struggles to look down because his chin is so pointy. He does get some side-to-side tilt. The shoulders, I've already gone into length on them, but you've got the hinge inside for transformation, and then there's a ratchet. I'm going to try and get the sound on camera, if the arm would cooperate. It's a very soft ratchet, but there is a ratchet there. And now his arm is just colliding with everything. But that's that, and then you've got a ratchet for in and out movement. There's kind of a limited range just because the shoulders don't want to cooperate with me, and because of all the stuff in the way. This moves, like I said. He's got an elbow that will bend over 90 degrees. There's no real... What is happening? Okay. There's no... there's a bicep swivel, actually, cut under here. I was going to say there's no real bicep swivel, but there is one. It's just in the same joint as the elbow, so I never really noticed it. Down here at the hands, they don't move, but you can open the fingers and the thumb as far as you want them to go. You can have clasping, you can have kind of relaxed. These three fingers are on one hinge and the thumb's on its own hinge. Little bit of waist swivel down here. Stuff starts bumping into his back, but you do have it. You've got ratcheted hips going out. You've got friction, goes back that far until it runs into stuff, goes forward all the way. You've got a thigh swivel. You've barely got a knee, like he's kind of hunched as is. Stay up arm, and his knee only goes that far, so it's not the best knee. He's got pivot on his ankles, and they go forward for transformation, but they don't really go back. And that's pretty much all the posability you're getting out of Barricade. But in reality, if I had him displayed, which I did very briefly, I just kind of made him look menacing, in a menacing kind of pose, or he's just kind of like reaching out at you, and he looks kind of mean and grumpy. His hips are not cooperating with me at all. It's making him look kind of hunched. But basically, you're just going to get him into a pose where he looks like he's about to start something, and he looks fine, and he can do all he needs to do to get into a pose like that. So that's basically it for articulation and accessories and all that. And that's basically it for MPM Barricade. I think the car looks really good. I think the robot represents the character well. It is a good representation of the character. For the most part, the only downside to this figure I really have is just kind of how floppy it is, and I wish that those transformation joints on the shoulder actually clicked into place so you could use the ratcheted shoulders they gave you, because it's such a disappointment that you can't. Other than that, it's a perfectly good figure. I actually like the character design as well. The first toys we got from the 2007 movie, and by we I mean my brother and I, the heater just kicked on again, so we'll see how that goes, were the 2-pack of the Clunker Bumblebee and the Barricade, and I think I got the Bumblebee and he got the Barricade, but it's been one of the figures we've had around since the very beginning of the live action films, and I do like the design. I just wish that the posability worked a little better in the shoulders for the most part, and it wasn't so much of a hassle trying to get it all back together in the car mode. That's pretty much it for him though. It is my wife's favorite Decepticon, so this video is going up on Valentine's Day for her. I love you, Megan, so there you go. Why don't you go ahead and comment your favorite, or if you have a significant other that also likes Transformers, comment both of your favorites down below. Go ahead and give us a comment on your favorite Decepticon from the Bayverse, your favorite Decepticon in general, your favorite Decepticon from Bumblebee, the Travis Knight film. Go ahead and tell us your favorite Decepticon and why it, and what it's from and why you like it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like the review. Give it a like. Go ahead and ring the notification bell so that way you know when I'm posting new things. And go ahead and check out my playlists for more Masterpiece style Transformers, for more Chug stuff. Go ahead and subscribe to me on Instagram and Twitter, or follow me, whatever. They're the same thing with 2 different words. And I usually have a post up the day before a video is going to come out. So this is coming out on Monday, Valentine's Day. So I'll be posting Sunday, which is actually my son's birthday. So happy birthday, Jet. Daddy's shouting you out on YouTube. But go ahead and follow me there so that way you can have a little full warning sometimes when I post. And if you ring the bell, then you'll know when something's up. And with that, I'll catch you guys next time.